OK, we're sticking with flights now, sort of. Let's go back to the Lionesses as they begin their long journey home to the UK. And I'm delighted to say we're joined by England star Beth Mead, who sadly wasn't out in Sydney, though, due to an injury.
Yeah, Beth, thank you so much for joining us, spending a bit of time with us tonight on 5 News. Can we ask you, first of all, what's it like for someone who is a Lioness and would have loved to have been there to watch that final yesterday in Sydney against the Spanish?
Yeah, I would have done anything to be there, obviously, with the girls, whether it was watching or being a part of the team. I wasn't a very good spectator at home. I'm a bit nervous off the pitch than I am when I'm playing on it, so it wasn't ideal, but yeah, it was amazing to see the girls play in a World Cup final. Unfortunately, they just fell short this time.
Take us into the Mead living room. Were you stood up for the entire match? Were you shouting?
I was actually at the Arsenal training ground and I was in and out of the room during some of the calls within that game, but I won't tell you what I was saying at the time.
OK, probably for the best.
Hard to watch then. Have you spoken to any of the Lionesses? Have you got any insight into how they're feeling today?
I actually haven't. I think as a player, when you know you've worked so hard to get to a moment where you wanted to win so much and you've not, I think I've kind of left them alone. I think they need a few days for the dust to settle, and I don't want to be attacked by half of the team for saying I'm proud of you, and they're just like, can you shut up, Beth? So I've left it a few days until I give them a message.
How do you and how will they, do you think, assess this in the coming days? Because it's an amazing achievement to reach a World Cup final. Yes, there's disappointment that they've lost. But the number of people, and I suppose you've seen this from a spectator point of view now, the number of people who've fallen in love with this side and the number of girls who, like those behind you, are now getting into football and want to be the next Mary Earps, who want to be the next Beth Mead.
Yeah, I think obviously there'll be a lot of disappointment there at the moment. I think we need to give them a few days, but I think once they get back and they see the support that they've had from back home, you know, sometimes you're wrapped in a bubble while you're out there and in tournaments. So when they get back and feel the love and what they've done, you know, the next generation of Lionesses behind me, I think, you know, they can hold their head high and be proud of what they've done and how far they've come. But yeah, it'll take a little bit for that to settle for them first.
You might not be wanting to talk to your teammates about how proud you are. I totally understand that, but you can tell us exactly what you think, can't you? I mean, can you pick out any highlights? I know in our house we were going off when Mary Earps saved that penalty. That was an awesome moment, and she very deservedly got the Golden Glove, didn't she?
Yeah, honestly, I'm so proud of what the girls have achieved. There's been a lot of adversity, injury, change of formation within the tournament. They've had to deal with a lot, and there's a high expectation on them players to do well in this tournament, and they once again prove why they deserve to be in that final. So, yeah, I'm so proud of them individually. Tournament-wise, I think the penalty shootout, when we won that one, I'm not a fan of penalties and I know what it takes to be in one of them penalty shootouts, so I'm so happy we got through that as an English side. Yeah,
Chloe Kelly gave it a right wallop, didn't she? I'm sure you've seen some of the comments on social media today as well. Leah Williamson, also unavailable for the World Cup because of injury. She said this, I'm sure you've seen this, Beth, these girls are not the princesses that used to grace your bedtime stories. They are warriors, she said. And she said they rewrite the definition of strength year on year and know that they are their own biggest competition. Tomorrow, says Leah, sounds like an opportunity. You just need to listen. Do you share that sentiment? And what, for you and the rest of these Lionesses, does tomorrow look like? What's the next stage of development, do you think?
Yeah, and what Leah said is she got it spot on, you know. It's ingrained within us all to what we're doing. You know, we work hard to be in them moments and get to where we are, and these girls behind me today want to do the same, and hopefully we've inspired them to do that. But I think, yeah, the next thing for this England team, you know, there's still a lot more to come, and there's still a lot to come within the future, and it's looking really bright. But yeah, I think, again, it's one step at a time, and Serena will say the same. They've got a Nations League at the end of September, what they've got to, you know, prep for again, and it comes round quickly again, but ultimately you could get to an Olympic final and an Olympic Games in that as well, so that's probably the next goal for us.
And how about you personally, Beth? You're still recovering from this ACL injury. When are you hoping to be back?
Yeah, I'm doing really well, 8.5 months into a 9-month rehab generally. I'm back on the pitch and doing pretty much everything now. Just hoping to get some pre-season minutes, and fingers crossed I'll be ready for the new season.
And Beth, quickly before we go, we can't let you leave us without talking about Serena Wiegmann. She seems so incredibly cool, and she really has changed the dynamic of this team. I know her contract ends in 2025. Are you one of those desperate for her to stay as long as she can?
I would get her to sign on the dotted line tomorrow as soon as she lands off that flight. So, no, Serena's been incredible at England, and of course we want her to stay. You know, she's inspiring a nation. She's inspiring, you know, female coaches within the game. She's inspiring the next generation. Obviously, why I'm here today. You know, these girls behind me are watching them games. Have been funded by the National Lottery for the last 10 years and £50 million, and Serena wants that to keep going, and I hope she still wants to do that in England. So yeah, I'll be waiting for her at the end of that plane journey, and I'll have the contract ready for you all.
Well, we hope she stays. Every Lioness fan does, and we'd love to see you back in a shirt soon too as well. Beth Mead, thank you so much for joining us on 5 News.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
She's great, isn't she?
She's brilliant, always great. Can't wait to have her back.